Folks, the conviction of Donald Trump has absolutely made everybody lose their minds in one aspect or another, that even Dr. Phil on Dr. Phil Prime Time is calling on the DOJ to stop the persecution of Donald Trump. Like, think about that. Dr. Phil is calling on the federal government and Merrick Garland, the head of the DOJ, to stop the political persecution of Donald Trump. If it can't be any more out in the open, folks, I don't know how else to say it, but Dr. Phil has some big words to say about what's going on. And later, I'm going to show you some other stuff on Merrick Garland and his corruption involved, obviously, in all of this. And even Robert Kennedy Jr., RFK Jr., even he's been censored by Joe Biden's DOJ under Merrick Garland. And even he has won court cases and is still taking Merrick Garland's DOJ to the Supreme Court, on basically censoring his speech on the FBI. So it's not just Donald Trump, it's anybody. If you oppose the deep state, if you oppose the neoliberal world order, then we're going to use everything we can to dominate you. Folks, the deep state is real and it is not American. So let's jump in and hear what Dr. Phil has to say.
I wanted to share my final thought about this. This weaponization of our great institutions, the FBI, Justice Department, and individual states' similar institutions, will lead to one of two outcomes. One is more of the same from the other side, tit for tat. That may seem deserved, but it is not the right way forward for America. The other is what I call on you to demand from your politicians today, an end to this craziness in order to save the soul and sanity of our country. The Pope has actually given us the right approach in his new book when he says, we are all brothers and sisters, and there must be no resentment among us. For any war to truly end, forgiveness is necessary. That is true of any war, including our current cultural war. We need our Justice Department to return to the business of meting out justice and not running the political agendas of those currently in power, blindly seeking convictions, warranted or otherwise, and attacking political opponents. That requires a very few important things from each of you, from all of us. Finding your voice, forgiveness, and focus on the way forward. Forgive them, for they know not what they do. Forgiveness, and at the same time requiring better. We are not some banana republic, for God's sakes. What are we going to do next? Have a Putin poisoning posse?
I mean, folks, I understand what Dr. Phil is saying, and he makes a lot of good points, but you can't really forgive someone when they're continuously trying to burn down your house. Like, really? Like, that's the goal. And they're not even fighting fair anymore. They're not even fighting fair. They don't care about the rules. So Merrick Garland is being, investigated right now. He's testifying before Congress. And, he's talking about this from this individual, Salty Ghost. So he's talking about a dangerous conspiracy theory to allege that the DOJ is communicating with state and local prosecutions against Donald Trump. Yet he dodges the question, and if he'll provide the communications his office has had with them, 1 to 10, how corrupt is Garland? Because this guy literally will not do he won't comply with anything. He won't cooperate with anything. He won't prove anything. I mean, Matt Gaetz drills into him on this one, but Merrick Garland is absolutely corrupt. He's part of the deep state. He doesn't care about the rules, and you have got to listen to this ridiculous excuses of why he when someone is guilty when they literally cannot answer basic, straightforward questions. When they give this big convoluted answer, they're not telling the truth. They don't have the goods, because otherwise Merrick Garland would just say it. But he doesn't, because he can't. So let's check it out.
Attorney General, you've told us that it's a dangerous conspiracy theory to allege that the Department of Justice is communicating with these state and local prosecutions against Trump. You can clear it all up for us right now. Will the Department of Justice provide to the committee all documents, all correspondence between the department and Alvin Bragg's office and Fonnie Willis's office and Letitia James's office?
The offices you're referring to are independent offices of state.
I get that. The question is whether or not you will provide all of your documents and correspondence. That's the question. I don't need a history lesson.
Well, I'm going to say again, we do not control those offices. They make their own decisions.
The question is whether you communicate with them, not whether you control them. Do you communicate with them, and will you provide those communications?
If you make a request, we'll refer it to our Office of Legislative Affairs.
But see, here's the thing. You come in here and you lodge this attack that it's a conspiracy theory, that there is coordinated lawfare against Trump. And then when we say, fine, just give us the documents, give us the correspondence, and then if it's a conspiracy theory, that will be evident. But when you say, well, we'll take your request, and then we'll sort of work it through the DOJ's accommodation process, then you're actually advancing the very dangerous conspiracy theory that you're concerned about.
And absolutely. I mean, that's when you know somebody's guilty. Merrick Garland doesn't have the goods. That's why he won't just show the communications. He's not doing anything bad by doing that. He's not breaking any privacy. He's not doing anything illegal or unethical by doing that. But by not giving those documents over, Merrick Garland is doing something unethical. And he keeps trying to dodge the question. But this same guy, this same slimeball, this same corrupt piece of crap who has spent all of your money going after Donald Trump, all of your money propagandizing your own media and anything else against you. I mean, having a hand in that, I do honestly believe. But he's going after RFK Jr. And jumping over to Benny Johnson's Twitter page on CNN of all places, RFK Jr. puts it out right in their face about Joe Biden and Merrick Garland's illegal corruption against him and what he's been having to do to basically get his word out there, which is his right as free speech. But this whole deep state, they don't care. Donald Trump, RFK Jr., they don't care. If you're against what they want, if you're in their way, they will do everything they can to destroy you. And this is how far RFK Jr. has had to go in order to play this legal warfare game that now they're waging on everyone. It's insane.
But do you really believe that when people talk about the threat to democracy that Trump poses, do you really think that is an equal evil to Biden?
I mean, listen, I can make the argument that President Biden is a much worse threat to democracy. And the reason for that is President Biden is the first candidate in history, the first president in history that has used the federal agencies to censor political speech, so to censor his opponent. I can say that because I just won a case in the Federal Court of Appeals and now before the Supreme Court. It shows that he started censoring not just me. For 37 hours after he took the oath of office, he was censoring me. No president in the country has ever done that. The greatest threat to democracy is not somebody who questions election returns, but a president of the United States who used the power of his office to force the social media companies, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, to open a portal and give access to that portal to the FBI, to the CIA, to the IRS, to CISA, to NIH, to censor his political critics. President Biden, for the first president in history, to use his power over the Secret Service to deny Secret Service protection to one of his political opponents for political reasons. He's weaponizing the federal agencies. Those are really critical threats to democracy.
Donald Trump, of course.
I mean, folks, what else do you need to hear? RFK Jr. just told you that Joe Biden is weaponizing your own government against you and wouldn't even give this man, RFK Jr., Secret Service protection. And he's censoring his speech. I mean, folks, it is absolutely insane how far and deep these people are willing to go to stop any other American from doing their service, because these people, they're not Americans anymore. They don't believe in the foundation of America. They don't believe in the Bill of Rights. They don't believe in what this place was supposed to be. They are trying to turn this into a dystopian dictatorship to where you don't actually have any rights or any say or any speech. You just shut up and let us stick whatever inside of you that we want, and we're going to spend your money on whatever weapons we want to attack whoever we want, no matter how insane it is. And this is the government that is in power right now. Folks, It is insane what Joe Biden and Merrick Garland are willing to do to people like Donald Trump and RFK Jr. But put your comments down below. Let me know what you think about the deep state. I mean, how corrupt are they? What do you think about what they're doing to Donald Trump? What do you think about what they're doing to RFK Jr.? And what do you think we need to do to get ourselves out of this? Thanks for watching, folks. Take care, and I'll see you next time.